What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Coaster Nostra, back at you guys with another sneaker review, unboxing, and of course that on-feet look with the sock combo to go with it, guys. I am back, hopefully for good. Fam, let's roll right into this review. Alright gang, another one of these black Zoom Freak 2 boxes. The releases with these shoes, these basketball sneakers, have been a little bit less frequent, I feel like, than they would have been this time last year. We're just not seeing a lot of colorways, guys, just because of everything going on. So again, we've got another fairly plain colorway. This one, the official colorway, is black/white and university red in a men's size 11, and of course retailing for $120 US, guys. Let's check out this colorway, fam. Alright gang, there we go. In hand, the Nike Zoom Freak 2 in the Bred colorway. That's gotta be what they've dubbed these. These actually remind me a lot of the Kyrie Breds that have been dropping the last few iterations of the Kyrie. They really hit it with the same exact color scheme, which is predominantly black. You've got a lot of red accenting, some gray in places, and then a small amount of white, this time on the actual Nike swoosh itself. The color blocking on this shoe just really makes me think of all of the Kyrie Breds that have sort of been dropping here recently, which I hate to say because I'm a big Kyrie guy, I'm not the biggest fan of. I do actually dig this colorway of the Zoom Freak 2s a lot more than I sort of dig some of those Kyrie colorways. However, that black and red Kyrie 7, I do like that colorway a lot. I actually haven't been able to find those in stores around here yet, so when I do, I'll definitely bang out a review on those, guys. But this colorway is simple and clean, and I think that's something that'll really kind of appeal to everybody. Anytime you have a Bred colorway on a Nike basketball shoe, guys, you know it's going to be something somewhat memorable, pretty clean, and not too crazy or outlandish of a colorway, and that's definitely what they've done with this Zoom Freak 2. You have a white Nike swoosh on the lateral side of the shoe. It's sort of textured, and that swoosh is dressed with two red triangular TPU plastic pieces on the shoe itself. They actually speckled both of those triangles, which I think is pretty dope. One of the cooler features of the colorway, in my opinion. That all sits atop that gray midsole, which on these Zoom Freak 2s, they moved the Zoom Air up to the forefront of the shoe. On the Zoom Freak 1s, that Zoom Air was in the heel of the shoe only, which in my opinion was not the best option in terms of a basketball sneaker from Nike at the time. I definitely agree with them moving it up to the forefront of the shoe because, guys, you're always landing on the forefront of your shoe and on the ball of your feet. Nobody lands on the heel of their shoe really at all, especially with any frequency, guys. And even though they actually did write Zoom Air on the medial side of the shoe back there on that heel portion, you just got some really thick hits of foam back there. The shoe itself, they decoupled the outsole so that front half of the shoe and the back half of the shoe sort of exist independently from one another. However, of course, it's one shoe, so the actions of the two are sort of dependent upon one another, but it allows for some of the more shiftier movements that you see Giannis making, especially some of those Euro steps and moves like that. That was at least the idea behind the design of the shoe itself. And as far as the cushioning on the back heel portion, it's very thick back there, very forgiving, and in my opinion feels good underfoot. The heel cup of the shoe does a really good job of locking your foot into the shoe, locking you down on the footbed, while not really digging into your heel or being uncomfortable in doing so. It's very pronounced, I will say that, especially halfway up the shoe. If you stick your hand in there or slide your foot in there, you can really sort of feel the ridges halfway up the shoe and how it contours around your Achilles. The shoe features a much more traditional lacing system, so it's a little bit easier than some of the other options from Nike basketball in terms of getting your foot into the shoe, a little bit quicker in getting the shoe on, lacing that shoe up and being ready to go and get out there on the court. There is an outrigger on the medial portion of the shoe, and while it's clearly a design feature of the shoe, it is functional and feels good and does sort of wrap around your foot naturally when you lace this shoe up. So kudos kudos to them for incorporating that and adding to that lockdown aspect of the shoe itself. The uppers are all textile, but a little bit of an improvement over that mesh that we saw in the Zoom Freak 1s. Even though everybody was a really big fan of the Zoom Freak 1s aesthetically and how they threw the oversized swoosh on the actual midsole of the shoe, we see the return of the oversized swoosh on this shoe. However, guys, they came with a traditional placement. They did not reverse it, but something tells me on the Zoom Freak 3s, they'll probably at least take that into consideration, guys. It just felt like a design feature that people really, really loved and were really sort of craving when they started to release pictures and eventually the actual Zoom Freak 2 model itself. Speaking of Freak, it says that on the tongue. You've got a little bit of a triangular emblem right there. It's sort of off-centered on the tongue, which is pretty cool. The back of the tongue is red. The sock liner is red. You've got a black insole. The Giannis Antetokounmpo logo on the lateral side of the shoe on the heel portion is in red. Nice little touches throughout. One thing that's sort of interesting to note, I feel like on the grade school pair, the midsole is white. Maybe I just saw early pictures of them, but I could have sworn I saw the men's and the grade schools featured next to one another, and those midsoles were actually white and not gray on the grade school pairs. Guys, let me know down in the comment section if I'm right about that. Sort of an interesting thing that they decided to do, and at first it felt a little bit more appealing to me, but guys, the longer I hold these in hand, the more I sort of take them in and just analyze them over time, the more I kind of dig the color scheme and how they brought that large portion of gray to the midsole, and they kept essentially the only white is going to be on the actual swoosh itself. Nice little touch right there in my opinion. And then guys, as we turn to the outsole, the way they've color blocked pretty much all of these outsoles and midsoles have really highlighted the fact that this shoe features a decoupled outsole and midsole, and you can really see that in the way that they design the grip on the two decoupled portions of the outsole. On the back portion of the outsole, some of the grip that you're maybe a little bit less dependent upon. You have sort of the return of the storytelling aspect back there as you see Giannis's name and all his brothers' names, which is sort of culminating at the top in his parents' names, Charles and Veronica. And then the upper portion of the grip underneath that Zoom airbag on the top portion of the shoe, you see all the little nubs that sort of emanate out in this sort of radial pattern from kind of the ball of your foot. Pretty cool and very, very grippy. However, some of those nubs are very, very small, and because those nubs are sort of individual in nature, guys, this isn't always the best outsole in terms of outdoor play. So if that's what you're going to be doing with these shoes, you might want to look into getting that XDR outsole for longevity and durability, guys. But all in all, guys, in my opinion, a very, very clean colorway. Something that makes me think not only Bred Kyrie's, but also Bred Jordan 4s for sure. Really, really tough, guys. Let me know, what do y'all think down below. Let's check these things out on feet. And of course, throw that sock combo in the mix, guys. Much love to you guys. I'm back. Appreciate you guys for all your support. And of course, everybody who's hit me up all over this sort of 2-month hiatus or however long it's been. My bad, guys. It's been so cold outside, the way the weather has been, and of course it's been raining and stuff like that. I swear every time I have a free second or an opportunity to film, it's been like 35 degrees and I just cannot get out there and sort of huddle down with my camera and get any film at all, fam. So my bad, my apologies for the extended disappearance. Hopefully it won't happen again, guys. Let's check these things out on feet. Much love, fam. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
It sound right, boys.